Alright. TR8. Just doing a reliability test. New firing pin. This is a composite firing pin. It's made the same way as the pin that's shown in the TR8 2013 Instructable. The main difference here is that this pin has a layer of electrical tape added, as well as the not electrical tape, a layer of duct tape added around basically the last layer of electrical tape. So it's kind of a composite tape mixture that the electrical tape has a little give, whereas the duct tape has more tensile strength, I believe. So together they kind of work together nicely to make a sandwich of tape that, if you notice, is still nice and small. This is just some wear and tear bands and stuff, but you can see it hasn't at all. I mean, I've shot this thing hundreds of times. You can see the tip here. I mean, that's where I made it. It hasn't advanced any farther forward. It's not wearing down. There's no major tears in the tape. And I've already shot well over 150 shots to 200 shots, if I had to guess, through this particular pin. Just repeating, with 5 bands on the pin, 5 to 6 bands, brand new. So, a lot of abuse. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue to load the gun up and just shoot it over and over again. Just kind of show you how reliable it is. I've got 5 shots here, and I'll just load the 5 shots up over and over again. Slide action. You can see there's just no wear on it. It just performs beautifully. So I'll just continue to grab the 5 rounds. My tripod right now is actually, oh, where's the last one? Oh, here you go. My tripod is the SRB3, so kind of funny how I got that wedged on there, but it's working. So you can see these rounds are really moving. Let's see here. Kind of getting caught under the door. A couple more shots. Remember, this gun was designed to shoot thin ammo, which is why I'm using the red rounds, because they're the same size. Let's see here. A couple more. See how our pin's doing. Still no wear and tear on this pin. I really like the layer of duct tape I added. Seems to really do well. Winch system, awesome. Everything's holding together well. The trigger works good. Everything's working really well on this gun. I haven't done anything really to change it or work on it or anything. It just functions flawlessly over and over again. Five more rounds here. Still, our pin is perfectly intact. I'm like really looking to see if I just can't believe there's no wear and tear. Typically with the old firing pin, the outer layer, let me show you here. This outer layer of electrical tape was basically splitting in half due to the impact over time of the firing pin hitting the back of the gun, which would wear away that firing pin. So remember how I showed you where this is at? It hasn't budged. Basically it would get closer and closer to the front, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, but The problem comes when you go to charge the weapon, you can't charge it far enough back to get past the trigger mechanism. So that's obviously a problem, because your gun just won't work. So over time, you know, your gun, you'd have to replace the pin, or at least replace the rubber band and electrical tape on the outer layer. With this new pin, seem to be getting a lot more longevity out of my pins, which is great. One less thing to worry about. I know this video is probably boring, but the point is I'm just showing how awesome this pin's holding up, and just the reliability of this weapon, how you can just fire it over and over and over again. So it's kind of funny, I posted the TR8 2013 instructions up right before I went to the war, thinking the gun was where I wanted it to be. I left the war and came up with just a ton of modifications to, you know, what you have now. Basically, you have the modified turret, which saves you some blue clips, so you can use those more sparingly and save some more for if you ever need to replace them if they wear out in the front of the turret. New connection point, so turret stays on stronger. The biggest and most noticeable one is the slide action, and it's probably one of my most favorite ones because it just makes priming this gun so easy. You can prime this thing. It just feels like you're pulling back half the amount of force that you're pulling back. So before, if it felt like, you know, what it took to pull back 2 rubber bands, it feels like the same for pulling back 5 on this. So it's just really comfortable. Doubles as a well, I guess you'd call it iron sight or plastic sight or whatever, but it just makes aiming easier. Not that you're really aiming down sights typically, but it's just kind of cool. My fiance actually shot the gun for the first time over the summer with the new sight. She hit a basketball pole from 100 feet away, so obviously with fin ammo. But it just shows you, you know, how accurate the thing is. Alright, let's see here. Shooting the stairs, and it's ricocheting back at me. That's why I'm wearing these safety goggles, because don't need to poke my eye today. Need those for work tomorrow. But I mean, there's really not the significant wear and tear on this pin. Notice where it's still at. I mean, it just hasn't budged. It's staying solid. And I've been shooting this thing for 2 days straight, just non-stop. Just every once in a while I'll go through and I'll shoot 50 rounds through it or something, or whatever I feel like shooting, just to test the pin out. So it's performing well. Seem to be happy with it, and yeah, so anyway, I think you guys got the point. We'll run one more through just for fun. Shut the video down here. See, there's a big mess on my stairs. That's actually, I had a piece of drywall I kind of set up on there. Took my SRV3 and shot around at it, and it's just blowing straight through drywall. It's kind of cool. It's funny because right now with this setup, this gun's not even shooting through drywalls, and you can see how hard this is hitting. So it's just amazing the amount of force that's on that gun to be able to just, with a blunt tip, much more blunt than the just a rod, just punch its way right through drywall, no problem, like it's not even there. I know I said one more, but it's kind of addictive just shooting this thing. that's it. This is the TR8. It's actually my prototype version. My finished model has the purple connectors on it, and it's obviously got my newer pieces, but this has all the same upgrades and improvements. Ratchet mech, excuse me. New turret design kind of helps with saving on pieces, wear and tear, etc. This is kind of cool. I actually never really explained this to anybody, but the ratchet mech, if you look here, you have that blue clip connector. So let me load a round up. So if you load one round up, you rotate, you can see that blue clip connector. Right there, it gets caught kind of on this yellow con, and you can kind of hear it clicks. So once you clicked it around once, you can actually feel resistance too. You know that you have enough tension from the first round all the way to the last round. So kind of cool. Kind of a cool feature. I like it. At first I was like, I don't know, it kind of impedes it, but then I was like, you know what, it kind of is a really good feedback as to how much you're rotating the turret. So, in the slide, obviously, this thing is working awesome. This slide also can incorporate a charging handle if you like that. I just find the slides a lot easier to use for me personally, but I left it open for those that want to do either one. This is the same, basically, bracket or slide that you mount that on. At the war, my brother, he had his turret fall out once, so just because it's really not necessary to have such a quick change turret, I basically just connected it with this piece here and whatever you call those things, the Y connectors I like to call them. This just holds really strong. That's not coming off. So, but at the same time, you just take an ammunition and you feed it through this side, and kind of like that, piece comes off and your whole turret comes out. The other nice thing about having the blue clip, sorry, I thought I heard something. The other nice thing about having the blue clip is no pieces come off if the turret came off, so, and it's just as easy to put back on. Just kind of put it on like that, take your piece, tuck it away. So that's that. Trigger was modified. It tended to stick over time, like the Y-cons would turn in, which was giving my friends some trouble. Some people noticed it, some people didn't. This new trigger design, I love it. I haven't had any problems with it. Everyone's loved it, so it's used it so far. I kind of modified the back of the gun here so that way the slide has more room to run. But otherwise, same basic gun, just working better than ever. So, hope you guys saw and enjoyed the video. Saw the pin was working great. And it's a lot of fun to shoot. So, hopefully you guys can build it sometime.